Shaq, I want to know what you think about that, because here his first playoff game now for Karl-Anthony Towns, and obviously some work to do, and he says he's going to go to school on this and get better. So what would you say to Karl-Anthony Towns?
Tibbs made some good points. Yes, he has to run the floor because, when you come down, offense is stagnant, you get the ball in the block and everybody knows what you're going to do, the double team can come easy. So when you get double and triple team, you want to get easy baskets for yourself so you can get to the game. What I would tell him to do, run to the middle of the floor every time and just stand there until the refs calls 3 seconds 2 times in a row. That not only will get yourself in the game, defense starts to panic, they'll start to double and triple a couple times early, then you can kick it out to your shooters. And, again, I know he's young, but he's the man on the team. He still needs to demand the ball. When they switch and the little guy, plays him, all the guards tell him to clear out. No, you don't move. He said, no, give me the ball, throw me the ball, so he can, score or create for other players.
Big man advice from Shaquille O'Neal. Yes.
I played with a great big man as well. I would have had to fight him if he only got 9 shots in the game 1 of a series. I would have came into the locker room ready to lift the cup. Yeah. But in Shaq, I've seen you say the big dog, and I mean in this regard, I do agree with what Tibbs is saying about running the floor. I do think about reposting, but the only thing about that, when you repost, it has to be a mental thought process of the guard that he's reposting and I'm getting it back to him. So it's not a conversation with Karl-Anthony. It's a conversation with Derrick Rose or Butler and or Teague saying he's going to repost and get him the ball again, because otherwise he just reposts and it doesn't matter. Right. I'm still not looking for you. So yes, as a point guard, let me take this back. I wouldn't have had to fight Akeem, because I would have went in probably upset at him if he only allowed himself to get 9 shots, or he didn't scream at me for the basketball. I would have been like, what's wrong with you tonight? I would have probably been angry at him more than him at me, probably.
You have to, from a basketball standpoint, you have to say to yourself, well, if you're Jeff Teague or anybody.
What's up, YouTube? We're talking about Karl-Anthony Towns today. Really quick, I know you guys are going to ask, so here is the build. I'm using my two-way mid-range finisher to kind of portray Karl-Anthony Towns. You see the post hook good, standing dunks good, shooting's good, of course, because Karl-Anthony Towns hits threes like crazy, and the interior defense is good, rebounding's decent, block. That's, he averages over a block a game, so that's somewhat realistic, and the post moves are high, so he'll be able to do posting, even though he's not really the most crazy post player in the NBA, but this is it. And then the badges, of course, not maxed yet. 6 finishing, 24 shooting, 6 playmaking, 6 defense. Once it's all done, I have a build video on this build if you guys want to make it. So just go check it out. Just type in tonic keyboard and then two-way mid-range finisher. It'll be the first one to pop up now. And then you see, 46 speed, 40 acceleration, 88 strength, stamina's high. Good for a big man. Now let's get right into the gameplay. I'm going to be talking about, Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm not going to be focusing too much on the actual gameplay, but I'll try to comment a couple things here and there. So Karl-Anthony Towns, this man was a #1 overall draft pick. And when he was picked, after his rookie season, I'm not going to lie, this man averaged like 25 and 12. People thought 100% that he was going to be, the best big man in the NBA. He could become the best big to ever play in the NBA. And at this point, you see, slashy playmaker, glass cleaner lock. And at this point, he's kind of being slept on. It's 2020 now. The Wolves haven't done a whole lot. They did make the playoffs that one year with Jimmy, but they didn't do anything in it. Karl-Anthony Towns, he had a kind of a lackadaisical playoffs, and people really forgot about him. Now there's other centers in the league that people would consider better than him. Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid. There's all kinds of different centers. And the average NBA fan is not really thinking about Karl-Anthony Towns anymore. Now, the reason is, if you're not winning, you can't be the best player, you can't be the best center of all time if you're not winning. And Karl-Anthony Towns, to this point, he hasn't been winning. Let's talk about a little bit what he does. I mean, this man, he's like 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. He kind of plays like a shooting guard, I will not lie. You'll kind of see me in this video. I try to play like him. But a lot of people, Shaq, I was playing that intro in the beginning. People think that he needs to get the ball in the paint. He needs to be like, Joel Embiid, demand the post touches, score like a monster inside, basically just dominate inside. And I don't know if he's, that kind of player. He likes playing like a shooting guard. He likes shooting threes. He likes running. and he doesn't. You don't just see him, going into the post and demanding the ball like someone, like Shaq would do in the day. What Joel Embiid will do, demanding the ball. He doesn't really demand the ball in the post, and I don't think that's a real problem because he's still averaging over 20 points a game. Now, come playoff time, if people are guarding it, if they're not giving him shots on the perimeter, I think it'll be more important for KarlAnthony Towns to be able to, take over a game with his post play, because at the end of the day, if it's not him, they're going to make his teammates beat him. And it's a good transition. Let's talk about the teams. The Minnesota Timberwolves, their team's kind of forgettable. They had Jimmy Butler, they had Derrick Rose, they had Jeff Teague. All those guys are gone now. Pretty much now, I could talk about a lot of the players on the Timberwolves, but the only ones that really, the only thing, let's just talk about D'Angelo Russell and KarlAnthony Towns. Because, they have other players, but none, I watch the NBA all season, a lot of games, every team, so I know about these players. For the average NBA fan, you're not going to care about those guys. They're not like game changers. So we'll focus on KarlAnthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. The pairing, it's an offensive, it's going to work good offensively. KarlAnthony Towns can put, 25, 30 points a game. D'Angelo Russell really could put up 25 to 30 points a game. D'Angelo has the ability to shoot. He does good floaters. He can pass. He can rebound. KarlAnthony Towns, of course, can shoot, play inside, rebound, pass. KarlAnthony Towns averages 4 assists a game. D'Angelo Russell, I'm not sure what he's at exactly. I'm not going to look it up, but I know he's had seasons where he's averaged 7, 8 assists. So they both can play off each other well. The thing is with defense, though, neither of them are a good defender. D'Angelo Russell, very, very forgettable on defense. I would say at his best, he's just an average defender. And that's okay. You can be an average defender as long as you're not a black hole on defense. That'll work for D'Angelo Russell. KarlAnthony Towns, on the other hand, he gets blocks, but he's not a good defender. And I'm not sure completely why. A lot of people just say that he just doesn't care about the defense aspect right now. He's immature. I know people point out, he plays video games a lot. He was on Fortnite. He'd be on Call of Duty. That's cool, man. You can play video games. Who cares? But at a certain point, a lot of really, really good teams have a defensive anchor on the team. And with KarlAnthony Towns being the center, I think at some point that will have to be him. Now he's got the full capabilities to do it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's not the most athletic player in the NBA, but he's got good size. He's got good speed. He can defend the paint and he can guard the perimeter pretty decently. I say guard the perimeter. There's not a whole lot of evidence to prove that he could do that. But with the speed, with the size, I definitely think that he could do it and he could be effective at it. The only other way is they're going to have to get another player on the team that holds down the defense while they're great on offense. And that would be a good thing to do. I would say for them to thrive, really, they need to surround D'Angelo Russell and KarlAnthony Towns with defensive players. They don't have to have the best defensive player in the NBA, but if they just have 3 people out there that are good at defense, and then KarlAnthony Towns, if he's got good defenders by him, if he's being held accountable, I think, and then that's where he's really going to start going crazy, because the offense is there. These guys, they have no problem with offense. They can score with any of them. I think KarlAnthony Towns, as he gets older, as he wants to win more, I think calling for post touches, being more dominant, because when they went to the playoffs, with Jimmy and Derrick Rose and KarlAnthony Towns, they did lose. And KarlAnthony Towns, he wasn't aggressive. He was like the first game you heard, he had 9 shots up from a player that's supposed to be, was supposed to be the best center to come into the NBA. You're gonna want him to have more than 9 shots. Now, should the team be looking for him to score? Absolutely. But when you want to be the best center in the NBA, you have to call for the ball. Shaq was never gonna have a playoff game where he only had 9 shots. That man Shaq was gonna demand the ball. If it was halftime and he only had a few shots, he was going into the locker room. He was yelling at everybody. Every dominant center has to call for the ball, and that's what KarlAnthony Towns is gonna have to do. But, the Wolves right now, I think they're in a decent spot, to be honest. A lot of people don't even care about the Wolves because they haven't been in the playoffs. But, they got D'Angelo Russell, they got KarlAnthony Towns, so they have their offense. Like I said, just get some defensive players around these guys. And KarlAnthony Towns, I think, will become a good defender. Can he still be the best, the best center in the NBA? I mean, he's gonna have to compete with Jokic for many years. There's other centers gonna be coming in. But I think really, what's holding him back from being that player? Winning and defense is really all it is. If the Minnesota Timberwolves get a team and he's leading them to the, the top, one of the top seeds in the NBA, and he's averaging, 28 and 15 with 2 blocks, and they got the best defense in the NBA. And of course, that man is, he's going to be considered the best center in the NBA, and that's all it's taken. That's all I'm saying is this man, KarlAnthony Towns, could still be the best center in the NBA. I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you guys think of him. I know he was popular in college. He played at Kentucky. To a lot of, not crazy NBA fan, because, the casuals, they know the big names, Giannis, LeBron, stuff like that. They're not going to be thinking about KarlAnthony Towns on a losing Minnesota's Timberwolves team. But let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you think that he could still be the best center in the NBA, if you think, the Minnesota, they're going to be able to make the playoffs, if he can lead them to the playoffs, and what the future is going to hold, to be honest. But let me go ahead and commentate the rest of this game now. Got a lot of KarlAnthony Towns talking. You see me, I got the post-scoring takeover. Beast dots me, shooting a little bit contested, missing that, going up again. This pure stretch build, it's a lot of fun to play on. I usually use this build for the ones. It's a lot of fun for the twos, though, because, I mean, how often does a center have to guard another center that they can be pretty confident that are going to hit every shot? Now, of course, I just missed 2 shots in a row, but if I, was locked in and, I don't know. I should hit every shot, to be honest. I'm a pure stretch. I got 24 shooting badges. They should not be able to leave me open. But it's a lot of fun on the twos. You will run into some problems like, most of the time you're going to play 2 lockdowns, and your defense isn't the greatest. I would say, you got good interior defense, but you don't want this build to have to switch, especially on something that's fast, that can dribble, that can shoot. You're just asking for that. But if you play with a good defensive point guard, then definitely you can make this work. You see Beast holding the ball real quick. I'm telling him, let me dex. A little bit of 2K19, getting him stuck off the dribble. That's a tough situation. Beast able to get the board, though. I actually shot a post fade right there. KarlAnthony Towns isn't the most crazy post fader. That's why a lot of the gameplays you saw is just kind of me shooting threes, because that's how I see him. He's just kind of a tall shooting guard right now. Even though he does post stuff, even though people consider him soft, he's not really soft. He be down in the paint, bodying other centers, getting rebounds and stuff. He gets blocks. He's just not that super defensive presence yet. BC here, 2 for 11, going into the post. I got post-scoring takeover, why not? Dot and Beast, getting to the mid-range right there. Big greens. You see I'm hitting them with a little guitar animation. I like choosing the green animations that you don't see a lot on people because everyone seems to have that peekaboo, all those like that, so I just like to look a little bit different. Hitting them with a little post hop right there, something different. Like I said, I was off this game, 2-13. I was doing my absolute best to give these guys the chance to come back. He shoots a tough shot right there, 2% contested. Beast with the board, me with the 3 green, only a 2% contest. I swear, it pays sometimes to be 7-3. If I was on, like my 6-3 ball hawk right there, that would have been like a 40% contest. Beast dotting me. Let's not talk about it. Going into this guy, can we get one more stop? 2-16. Beast got his rim badge. Not something you want to go for. Dots me for the 3. Shooting one more off dribble. Hitting that one. Had to get my redemption. And, yeah, man. TG, Freddy. What's the other dude's name? Big... something 1288. Shout out to these guys for the competitive game. Beast, can he get one more block with his rim takeover? This dude does a weird little I don't know what you would call that. I guess like a post fake. Did not mean to do that, I'm sure, but he gets it up. I'm not sure what jersey he wears. Number 45, and it's all black. Not sure at all what he's wearing. I'm sure if I saw the front of the jersey, I would know. Takes a shot right there, giving me that block. Beast with the rebound. Got to finish these guys off with a little bit of inside bucket. Get him out of here. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Tonic Man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.